something in you that you know you're meant for big things, and this is the platform that I'm going to be successful on.
On Monday, they could be walking a runway. By Saturday, they could be breaking someone's jaw under bright lights. These are the most stunning and most dangerous women in boxing today, and the last one might scare you the most. Before we get to the list, please hit that subscribe button for more fighting content. And let's count them down!
For all that Paige Van Zandt has done outside of the octagon, it's her fighting that she relishes the most. We talk about chaos.
Paige Van Zandt turned pain into power. After being bullied growing up in Oregon, she stepped into combat sports and never looked back. Soon, she became one of the most recognizable women in fighting, a UFC star, reality TV name, and crossover celebrity. But behind the fame was someone willing to trade punches with elite athletes for a living. She didn't stop at MMA either. Paige tested herself in the UFC, bare-knuckle boxing, and professional boxing, something very few fighters ever dare to do. Millions follow her online, but real fans know the truth. Behind the smile is someone built for violence. Beautiful, fearless, and always dangerous. Alexa Grasso shocked the MMA world. At UFC 285, she submitted Valentina Shevchenko, the most dominant women's champion the UFC had seen, and took the flyweight throne. With that win, Grasso became the first Mexican female UFC champion in history.
Maybe the switch kick to the body, maybe the high kick on the left side, and now she's in orthodox. And Grasso goes orthodox for the takedown attempt. Interesting.
Yeah, Shevchenko's going to try to headlock her here.
But she didn't win by luck. She won with clean boxing, smart footwork, patience, and a submission that stunned the sport. Inside the cage, see, she's technical and ruthless.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Jason Herzog has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 34 seconds of the 4th round. For the winner by submission due to a rear-naked choke, and UFC!
Outside it, she carries the kind of presence cameras love. Champion, history maker, and one of the most complete women fighting today. Tracy Cortez is one of the fastest rising names in women's MMA. Born in Phoenix, Arizona, she built her reputation with relentless pressure, non-stop aggression, and the kind of pace that breaks opponents mentally.
Tracy was cut in that last combination by Aaron Blanchfield. You hear her corner saying, now show the takedown to her, but I mean, she started to really land at the end of round 1.
It seemed like Tracy was slowing down a little bit at the end of that round. Oh, Tracy with the takedown attempt.
For long stretches of her career, she stayed unbeaten while climbing the flyweight ranks. Inside the cage, she fights like she has something to prove every second. Outside it, she's built one of the biggest fan followings in the division. That rare mix of star power and violence is why so many believe Tracy Cortez is only getting started. Beautiful, explosive, and dangerous in every round.
Down all of her UFC opponents now, including Paige Van Zandt.
Very smart move.
Two-time UFC champion. One of the most dangerous artists the sport has ever seen. Rose Namajunas, better known as Thug Rose, fights with creativity most opponents can't read until it's too late.
And Weili has landed several of those inside low kicks.
She can strike, scramble, submit, or finish a fight from angles nobody expects. And she's one of the rare fighters to defeat the biggest names in her division more than once.
Nunes hang with one of the best kickboxers on the planet Earth.
Rose is going to have to mix in some takedowns. She's going to have to mix in some of her striking just to break up the idea that she can be that comfortable in a kickboxing situation.
Yeah. Oh!
Her most iconic moment came at UFC 261 when she blasted Zhang Weili with a front kick to the face just 78 seconds into round 1. The world was put on notice. Mackenzie Dern is what happens when world-class beauty meets world-class danger. The current UFC strawweight champion, Dern, built a legacy by dominating everywhere she competed. She became the first woman ever to win IBJJF, ADCC, and UFC world titles, something almost impossible in combat sports. But trophies don't explain the fear she creates. Once the fight hits the ground, opponents know one mistake can end everything. Her submission game is so elite that many consider her one of the greatest grapplers in women's MMA history. And now she rules the toughest division in the UFC. Before we get into the top 3, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button right now. This channel covers combat sports the way they deserve to be covered. Kayla Harrison isn't just a champion, she's a force of nature. A 2-time Olympic gold medalist in judo, she entered the UFC and ran through the division undefeated, with crushing takedowns, suffocating grappling, and improving striking. Harrison has looked like a nightmare from the moment she arrived. In June 2025, she submitted former champion Julia Pena to claim UFC gold. That made her the first woman in history to win both Olympic gold and a UFC championship. Few fighters in any era can match that resume. Powerful, composed, and terrifyingly efficient. And with Amanda Nunes still in the picture, her biggest chapter may be next. Valentina Shevchenko, the Bullet, has maintained her status as one of the most dominant fighters in UFC history. She recently defended her flyweight title against top contender Manon Fiorot by a unanimous decision after 5 rounds at UFC 315. 7 title defenses at flyweight. Former multiple Muay Thai world champion, a Kyrgyzstan-born fighter who trains with her sister, and is widely considered the most technically gifted female striker to ever compete in the UFC. Valentina Shevchenko reigns supreme with her flawless technique and striking, one of the most complete female fighters the sport has ever seen.
Oh, head kick. It's it. Oh, my God. What fight do you want to see in this division now? I mean, none of them make sense.
She's setting the bar for the sport for mixed martial arts, and she's showing women this is where you got to be. This is how good you have to be.
She is not just on the list of the most beautiful female UFC fighters. She is one of the greatest combat sports athletes of her generation. There is only one number 1. Amanda Nunes is the greatest female fighter in mixed martial arts history. She became a name when she knocked out Ronda Rousey in a UFC title bout in 2016. But she was so dominant in the years after that her legacy goes infinitely beyond that signature win. She defeated every legitimate title challenger the UFC could find at 135 and 145 pounds. She closed her career on a 14-1 run. She is the consensus number 1 female fighter of all time. 2-division UFC champion, the woman who finished Ronda Rousey, Chris Cyborg, Miesha Tate, Holly Holm, Valentina Shevchenko, and Joanna Jędrzejczyk. She did not just dominate the division, she dominated 2 divisions simultaneously. And now, in 2026, she has come out of retirement for one final fight against Kayla Harrison. The fight that the entire women's division has been building toward. The GOAT, back for one more. Every woman on this list walked into the UFC when women's MMA was still being underestimated. And every single one of them proved inside an 8-sided cage in front of thousands of people that beauty and brutality are not opposites. They are the same person. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe right now. We cover the fighters, the stories, and the moments that casual fans miss entirely. And please drop a comment below. Who do you think we missed?